It's been a while. If I sound weird in this video, it's because I'm sick. The last video I made where I wasn't singing at you was about 1.5 years ago. It's my 10k subscriber celebration video where I frantically tried to explain why I hadn't uploaded in 2 months. Wow, 2 months. What a long time! Ha! Well, things have happened since then. Notably, basically none of the projects I was working on in that video came to fruition. I get comments occasionally talking about these unfinished songs or covers, but by far the thing that gets mentioned the most is that album of Danganronpa 2 songs I promised when I released Talentless. I promised an entire album of Danganronpa 2 songs. Blatantly. I just did that. Said it multiple times, dropped all the titles, and gave myself a year-long window to just do it. And then I didn't do it! So, Danganronpa 2x2 was announced this year. And when I watched that announcement, I felt this strange, intense wave of something between hysteria and guilt. I've now not only procrastinated this album into my adulthood, but into a new Danganronpa game. Trust me here, there was no reality in which Danganronpa came back before I finished that album, but I managed to procrastinate myself into a new timeline that exists only to mock me. But I digress. Back in reality, there are actually a few reasons for this. Beyond my own tendencies of procrastination, my life just kind of rearranged itself. Small ways, big ways, good and bad, but undoubtedly a lot. I started YouTube when I was 15 years old. I was meant to be revising for my GCSE exams. For all the Americans watching, think of these as SATs that you take during your sophomore year instead of your senior. Because of course, revising non-stop for up to 13 different subject papers isn't detrimental to a 15-year-old's mental well-being at all. I digress. I didn't even study. Instead, I was not studying, but musically. During my GCSEs, I was taking a traditional music theory class, and for some reason, my secondary school had recently partnered with Steinberg. So now we had the devil's own notation software, Dorico, and the painfully unintuitive DAW, Cubase. That was my first exposure to DAWs. I took the subject for the performing aspect, so I didn't lean towards notation like my peers did when it came to composing. And they used Sibelius because Dorico really sucks, but I used the DAW that we had available. Cubase! I really liked it. Played around in it, got to grips with it, submit a really bad Vocaloid song using it as part of my coursework. Anyways, after a month or so of getting to know Cubase, I posted my first fan song immediately after finishing it with no knowledge of how to arrange, mix, or master. It sounded bad. I said this a year ago, but No Escape is great, and I love it, and I hate it, and I want to redo it, but nonetheless, it's the first thing I made. People resonated with it, they liked it, and so I kept making things, and it was awesome! And I went to my local sixth form to study music technology, and then everything got worse! I don't know, maybe it was the course, or maybe it was just me, but I totally lost all motivation to make anything that year. I didn't put enough work into my music course and spent a lot more time focusing on my media degree. I also kinda hated that. The closest I got to really working with passion was those has-been covers I did, and I'm pretty embarrassed of those now because I sound weird. Then I had exams and coursework and loads of other excuses not to publish what I was creating. I kept getting far enough into something to doubt it, and then I just never touched it again. Following my little announcement video for 10k, I had some rough personal circumstances, and then seemingly got so stressed that my body just kind of gave up. I was in and out of the hospital for the first half of 2025. The last original I made was Zero Multiplied, and I did that during one of my first flare-ups. The process was rewarding, but more painful than it was worth. I didn't love the end result either, which was more demotivating than I initially thought it was. I'd already been procrastinating and putting my own work on hold. I'd let down quite a few collaborations due to it. Eventually, it all just snowballed. I totally lost my drive, and myself. I've been trying to recoup and rediscover my passion for creating. I mentioned it earlier, but I started when I was 15. I'm 18 now, and it's weird how much, yet how little I've changed. I struggle in knowing how to work YouTube. I struggle with keeping my focus, talking to my audience, knowing what to share and how much of it I should. It's taken a while to know whether or not I wanted to share any details of my life online, but I've decided it might be worth it for myself, to help clear my mind a bit and get it out there, and for others, struggling creatives in the same boat, or fans who just want to know what's up. Like all artists, I struggle with validation. from others, from myself, of my own ideas. It's something so synonymous with making art, you'd think it'd be easier to get over. I tied a lot of my worth to being young, then being a teenager. I turned 18 and kind of went a bit psychotic because I was no longer in the bracket of so good for your age. And that's really stupid because all the things I'm most proud of never came from me searching to be proud of them. They came from my enjoyment of the thing. I spent the last 2 years of my life putting the kind of pressure on myself that means I make nothing. I don't progress, I feel bad about it, and then I still make nothing. It's frustrating as an artist, and literally no one benefits. I'm sorry for making so many empty promises. Truthfully, I don't know what's next for me, but I know I want to keep creating. I would love for YouTube and music to be my full-time job. I could probably make it my full-time job. It's so rewarding to make a piece of art and have people find joy and connection in it. On that note, in my video for Headspace, my Amori fan song, there's a group of people who comment every single day. Every day! One person, Golden Eagle 603, also known as Mr. Eagle, has been commenting for 524 days at the time of me writing this script. These commenters talk to one another, log events in their daily life, have shorthand nicknames for each other, and it's just genuinely incredibly sweet to watch. Whenever I check my comments, there is a high likelihood I see one of these commenters, so I'd like to give a long overdue shout out to Mr. Eagle, Mr. Penguin, Miss Froggy, Miss T, Miss Iz, Miss Ash, Miss Fox, and any other new commenters I have missed. Apparently you all have a Discord server, which I find quite funny, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Anyway, I have so many passions, and sometimes I think it's a curse. I can never finish something because I get easily distracted by other things I like. I'm like a crow. If it's shiny, I need to pick it up. A silver ring, a gold chain, an 18,000 word fanfiction centered around Jean-Luc Picard and Q from Star Trek Next Generation. I digress! I just started university and I'm taking an undergrad in music production. If I don't bomb it, that'll be a master's later on. I'm still as busy as ever. It's exciting, frustrating, but it's made me realize how in love with music I still am. I'm surrounded by musicians in all different fields with all different specialties, and I can't even begin to tell you how inspiring and terrifying that experience is. But it's all confirmed to me that I really do want to get back into making things again, sharing them. I'm sick to death of half-arsing a project and getting demotivated enough to drop it. I want to do something properly without quitting halfway through. I'm not sure what that something is going to be yet. I have a few covers lined up. I have some really promising collaboration projects going on behind the scenes, and that Danganronpa album isn't looking terribly far from fruition if I devote some real time to it. Rather than tease and make false promises though, I think I'll keep it vague. I'd like to hear your thoughts on all this too. I'll make what I want to make, obviously, but I'd love to hear about what you guys enjoy. If you took the time to click on the video and you've made it this far, I assume you have some input. This is kind of engagement bait, but I really do love hearing from you guys. It is really helpful. On that note, 2 things. My Discord server and missing videos. Firstly, my current Discord server is abandoned. It's still active, but it's not moderated, and I've turned my eye off it for a while. This was so I could make a new one with a different backend in terms of bots and channels, but I just never got around to it. I'll be taking the server down entirely once a new one is up and running. I would not recommend joining the existing one. Awesome community, but definitely a target for scammers and bots as it is. As for the missing videos, I've taken down some of my covers that I particularly dislike, either because of their bad mixing or my bad performance, usually both. Look, I try to keep as much of my stuff up on my channel as possible, usually due to collaborations, but sometimes my freshly 16-year-old vocal performances get to me. I took down my cover of 'Cause I'm a Liar because I know I can do it better, and mark my words, I will! Anyway, what got me to finally bite the bullet and make this video was Super Eyepatch Wolf's new upload, Why Making Things is Hard. It's a grounded and realistic explanation of any creative process, and it made me realize how much I've been stunting my own artistic growth. Something is better than nothing. It always is. It's hard to see that through the lens of self-hatred and obsession over projects, but if you drop something midway through, it's, as so perfectly put, the coward's way out. Right, that's all for now. I'll see you in the next one, when it's ready. And it will be. See ya, Sprouts!